This is Tekin speaking. I think that let's start our today webinar session. We will speak about how we can apply COVID calendar to our schedule to check our project delay, because as you may be aware of that, we are all having the problem of pandemic, and many of our construction works projects are hold or delay due to social distance, due to non-working periods. I think that many of our clients asking to possibilities for rebuilding a recovery plan and able to make the recovery plan. It's very important to know where we are now with our schedule. That's why we would like to present today how we can use the new technique for integrating project schedule with the project drawing, and using the 4D presentation, understand the current situation of the project and what is going to be in our project delay. That's why we use Powerproject, one of the best for the scheduling software. My name is Tekin, and I've been working very long time with the Powerproject. By the way, I think that I need to update my picture because this is more accurate. Now everybody using at the moment this mask. All right. As I mentioned that I have over 20 years experience for project management, especially I'm in now more about the BIM, 4D and linear project management area. I'm more spending time. Before I was working with Primavera, Powerproject, Tilos, Isetia, Costo-As. These are I'm implementation specialist for this kind of systems. And also I'm an acting consultant delivering the training consulting services for worldwide known customers, and traveling all the time, place to place, and learning from my client, sharing with my client what I learned about new techniques and the problems people are having. Okay. What is 4D? And actually, I know that many of you who today listening about this webinar having a background for planning, and we used before for planning Excel, then Microsoft Project, and many of us use the Primavera, still using Primavera. And but BIM is very hot topic last 5-10 years. Everybody's speaking about the BIM solutions. BIM process. BIM is not a software. BIM is a process with the combination of the all collaboration and communications in the set of the processes with the multiple stakeholders. 4D is one of the first steps which you can make your planning capabilities adapted on the BIM. It's very simple, by the way, where the 4D is coming. First of all, to be able to have a 4D, you need to have 3D model, which is today Autodesk, Revit, NovaPoint, Tekla, all the 3D design software, which is developed in the environment in the 3D, will be able to save IFC format. And this is the 3D file. And to be able to 4D, we are integrating time with 3D, so that time dimension is coming from the schedule. We have schedule here, and we would like to just show that when you have the schedule, which is I have scheduled in Primavera or created in Powerproject, and I have 3D model here, and we apply for the COVID calendars. I have take 3 parts, which for the COVID time. One is that from the 1st of March until the end of April, we have developed the first of all the part 1, and second one was from the 1st of May and the end of the May. It was a second part, and the third part was from the 1st of June until the end of the June. So that we have 3 parts, and I make the colors and present during the time, which we can show that the first part we are going to have almost no working, And in the schedule, please see that we have also schedule on the top. The yellow line is showing the construction baseline program, so that I have 3 model open. And when I just start my project, as you see that before the COVID, and which is the blue line. Let's go to live demo. This is my schedule, which I have prepared in the Powerproject, but also you can able to bring your schedule from the Primavera, so that we have possibilities of opening Primavera file inside of the Powerproject, and you can also open the Microsoft project file, so that you have 2 choices. You can create the schedule in other environment than Powerproject, which is like Primavera or with Microsoft, and you can open it, or you can create your schedule inside of Powerproject, because Powerproject also provided full scheduling capabilities. And we have schedule here. I have created here, and you can see that the schedule is showing that we have going to build the hotel project. Next move, what I am doing, that I'm going to load the 3D model. And when you load the 3D model, now I have time and 3D and 4D simulation, so that I can just make the simulation with starting the timeline. And you see that the data date is moving. By this way, we are just having 4D schedules. And then you can see site simulation project according to my schedule, which I created. Of course, you can also move and check from each directions, because that 3D is just giving you possibilities of understanding your schedule in any area which you would like to just move and check. Of course, you can simulate backward your project, and you can also go to specific time, which is, it's very simple to make the special time, which is that you can just here select any specific date. For example, we would like to see that before the COVID start. Let's go to 1st of March. It was our schedule. This is the data date. All right. And left side, these are the activities we plan to finish. So these are the activities we plan to finish. And if you go to here 1 month ahead for the April 1st, and you can see that this is the data date. And these are the activities which we were planning to have completed end of the April. You can just go any specific date by selection of the calendars. This is the end of the May, and it was our aim to have those activities completed till the end of the May. Anytime manually you can just choose, so that end of the June we're supposed to have these activities completed. End of the, let's go to here, end of the September. And in end of the September, our aim was having the 3rd floor completed by those activities. All right. We know that this is estimation of schedule. And one of the first move we do when we completed our schedule, we always go and create the baseline. So that I'm just going to create the baseline. Here we are adding the new baseline we call COVID program. Okay, so that we can call the COVID baseline, or let's call. And we created here the COVID baseline. And when we create the COVID baseline, you can see that I have yellow line. The yellow line is representing my baselines. And if I, at the moment, open the comparison model, which is that we have possibilities of opening the comparison model. And here we can just replace the view. And you can see I have both plan and actual at the same time. I can put it here also the timeline control in the middle. And I have here created my project schedule. And this is the 3D model, which I have here estimate. And this is the 3D model, which I have here representing in the baseline, so that I have two 3D model loaded. At the moment, if I run the simulation, planned versus actual will be the same. The reason for that, because our baseline and forecast is the same. That's why we will have the same simulation, planned versus actual. If you go to here, or option for the COVID program, and you can see that majorly those activities are activities which we had COVID period. So that these are the activities which we had a COVID time. So that what I am going to do, the best method for it, creating the COVID calendars, applying those activities, but I would like to do manual. First of all, I would like to select the first activity and split from the COVID dates start, so that I'm just saying that, okay, we are going to have selection of the 1st of March, and I split the task. I'm moving the activity till the end of the part 1 because we have no work till that time, and I just manually apply for the constraints and schedule my work. Because of the first activity here is suspended, and we move to here the end of the April, you can see that other activities are also impacted for the delays. Another move what I am doing during the COVID time, I'm also extending the working duration longer because that speed of the work is shorter. Then I make the schedule again, and now you can see that my project plan and project baseline is different. Go to settings, and here I would like to select with the COVID baseline and make the comparison between our schedule, so that when I press the schedule now, and you can see that I have difference between two models, because one is representing the baseline, another is representing the actual and forecast for the remaining time of the periods. Okay, and we can also go to date, for example. We can select, okay, I would like to see first of all the activities till the 1st of the March. And my planned versus actual the same. I would like to see 1st of the May. And you can see that there's a difference between planned versus actuals. If you go to here, 1st of June, and my plan and versus actual is difference, so that you can make it each month screenshots or record the video, because that we have possibilities of the recording the video for the simulations. Okay, and if you go to here 1st of August, and you can have here end of the October, and you can see the difference between these two models are easily recognized. And here you can see that this is my target and this is what I achieved, right? This is the majorly giving you graphical representation or analyzing what was the plan and what is an actual. Of course, by entering the columns here, we can also measure that duration planned, duration actual. By this way, we can also calculate it, how many days we were planned. Like here, you can add, for example, another columns by the durations. Okay, I have two duration, and First one, I can say before COVID, okay, duration. And the second one, I can put after COVID. And you can select here the data for the COVID baseline. When you apply for it, and when you open it, and you can see here the difference between here, the parking one, which was planned to have the dates calculations. You can also go to here and edit here, for example, for the dates or finish dates. And you can select the first one as a live before COVID. And second one, you can select it after COVID finish. All right. You can just select the data for the COVID baseline. And you can have here the dates are different. Okay. You can have possibilities of understanding for the new dates for the projects because of the activities was delay, and you can have after COVID and before COVID dates. All right. Any question? If there are questions, and what is the size of the building for the 3D? And actually, this is a real hotel project. The file which you are able to load it here with the multidisciplines, so that if you want to have it any model for loading it, you can select the file from the here. Here, let me just check what is the size. The size is 150 megabyte, the 3D model which I loaded. So that this 3D model was quite medium size, but we have also possibilities over gigabyte file you can load it. Okay, another question is asked, and how we can create a schedule. By the way, it's a good question. How we are able to link the task, which task is which activity, and it's a good question. All right, but let's do it like this way. All right, I will delete all the schedule. Okay, this is my schedule, and I am just selecting all my tasks and delete the all schedule. And I would like to create my schedule. At the moment, you can see that I have a 3D file, but I have no time simulation because there is no plan. How to create schedule? We have two ways. One, we can have 3D model, and we can create the schedule from 3D model. And by going to selection modes, you can select the model and drag and drop here. And you can select another object here and move the task. And you can also select it, another model, and move the task, so that I have just selected here 3D and link those tasks and schedule it. Okay. And you can see that I have those tasks. And if you go to here, simulated, you will just see what you have planned. Okay. And this is how we are creating the schedule. By the way, you can just display only the activities which you have selected and bring to here. This is the way, because the rest of the activities, because we have no mention any plan, it will be not representative. Okay, another question. If we can do all these things manual, no. Okay, good question. Let me show you what is the very fast method for creation of the schedule. When you have the model here, you also have IFC product list. By search, you can select it, you can create it here. You see that these are all the objects coming from the Revit file or IFC file. I can select it, for example, foundation. And let's go till the end of the story 2. Okay, this is the oldest task. I have selected only parking 1, foundation, parking 2, story 1, and story 2. Right click, and here you can create the task. You can just select the create the task. System will create a list of the tasks. And we can also select those foundations, parking 1, and you can go to here parking 2 and story 1, and here story 2. Make those activities work breakdown structures. We can just select and make those activities the summary tasks, so that you can just one by one also do. Of course, you can select and you can say make this activity for the summary task, or you can select the multiple parking 1, and here I can just go to here the parking 2 and story 1 and story 2. I will select and make those task work breakdown structure, summary task, and under these 2 activities, I can indent it inside of the summary, those tasks here, and those tasks here, and we can just add it here, selecting those tasks and those tasks. Okay, and you can link those tasks, by the way. You can select and link the task. In Powerproject, available all kind of linking, like finish to start, start to start, start to finish, with the lag, with the person complete. I'm just automatically linking all these tasks as a default finish to start. Okay, so that we link those tasks. And here I just select and the link. And here I also link those tasks. When I schedule it, and please just to see that we have scheduled, and now I would like to make simulations. Go to beam settings and select the time, and you can see now I'm scheduling now my work on the left side. And you can see my schedule is going to be here presented like this way. And there's a logic mistake, because I have started to doing the parking 1, parking 2, story 1 and story 2 together. Generally, it should be like this. When I finish my foundation, parking start. When my parking 80% completed, parking 2 starts. When I have 75% parking to start, story 1 start. You can just make here the linking. Okay, so you can create it, and you can just make here also the link, and just that, okay, we have started here. When you schedule it, and I have here, let me just make also this link. And when you schedule, calculate it, and that logic is correct. You can see that I have here created all the logic. Do you have any question? Okay. There is a one question. Instead of the changing the calendar, can we create a task called delay? Yes. I mean, this is also another one. For example, if you would like to create it here, the delay task, you can just say, okay, this task, like I am just moving here for after COVID. Okay. You can create it here, the for example, the task, and you can create it here new task, by adding here as a new task, and this task you can say that non-working time during the COVID, so that you can create it, for example, for the codes, and you can just apply here in the colors, and you can represent it here that we have not worked during this time. You can also create it here the constraint for the work between, so that you can say that during this time we were not able to work. Of course, you can also need to link those tasks to another task here, and here you created here the link, and when you just schedule it, and system will be showing that during this time we were not able to work because of the COVID activity. Okay. Okay, there is a question about how we can relate it for the critical activities with the COVID time. What I suggest, before the COVID calendar, you can run the activities and you can see the critical activities, because we have provided also possibilities of the critic and non-critic activities. And by this way, you can see the free float and the total float analysis. System provided free float and total float. And after that, you can create the calendars, or you can create the activity which goes the COVID working time, and then you can reschedule it, and you can compare duration, and you can compare the float of the activities before COVID and after COVID. Because some of those activities who had a 5 days, 10 days float, and after a period of time start to become a critical activities. Because what I suggest is splitting your project for the two parts, and before COVID and after COVID, because this kind of time extension, like let's say 6 months, probably it will cause all your remaining activities become a critical. Because generally, if we have 5 days delay in one activities, 2 days delay in activities, we can make it critical path analysis. But if we are speaking about 1 month, 2 months, 3 months delay, it will cause probably 90%, 80% of your remaining activities going to be critical. In this case, I would suggest to analyze it negative float and list it who are the highest negative float activities. You can just you just need to rebuild your schedule for remaining of the time, so that after COVID. Okay, about the cost, are we going to have a cost initiation? Yes, we have a lot of possibilities of the cost. For example, let's just do one simple, I want to show it. You can model it here, the cost by time, because Powerproject providing you cost modeling by fixed cost, time-based cost, and quantity-based cost. So that if you have cost-loaded schedule, resource-loaded schedule, because of the time extension, your resource usage, especially for equipments, even you are not in field working, is increased, because that you will use it more. But just a simple sample I want to show about the cost. Okay, you can add the cost to any specific activities. For example, I created here this task. Okay, and this task, I'm just saying that, okay, I would like to put it here, the cost of the, let's say, COVID activities, COVID cost, okay, in this activity. And then when you go to modeling, you are selecting time-based cost. And per day, we are losing 50,000 pounds. Okay, and in this case, please see that the total cost for this activity, for the COVID cost, in 1,450,000. So you can just select it here, to highlight it here by yellow. Okay, and this activity is, if in this activity we have extended a little bit longer, okay, which is that you can create the activity for longer, so that I have extended this activity here the longer, not like 29 days, but more, 48 days. You can see that total cost is automatically increased for the remaining of the time. You can use the cost modeling for extension of the time calculated for time-based cost extension. All right, and you can of course compare before COVID and after COVID calendars. If you apply for each activity cost by time impacted, you can see that cost before COVID, cost after COVID calculation. We can do the resource leveling in Powerproject. Powerproject provides the resource leveling, but I have not applied. Why resource leveling is important? Let me tell you. If you have step 1, your schedule, step 2, delayed program after COVID, you will probably ask by your client or your management, prepare the recovery plan. There is no magic in our hands to catch up the 1-2 months delay, so that what we need to do, we have to increase the resources. To be able to catch up the plan, you need to work either weekends, longer time, or you have to put extra resources to finish your project on time. That's why you need to have resource loaded schedule. And resource loaded schedule is very simple. In Powerproject, when you create the schedule, you can see that we have here the resources like labor resource, equipment resource, material resource, and you can select the, for example, resources to any specific activity, okay? And you can display here the resource works and resource hours, resource cost. As you see that when I extended my activity duration here, the cost of the activity is increased because of the usage of the longer time of my resource. And there is a resource leveling, very powerful, and you can optimize in the resource leveling when you go to level resource function in Powerproject. You can level the resource by selected only resources or all the resources with very powerful resource leveling options available in Powerproject. Okay. There's a question if we can have the SQL reports and etc. Powerproject provide full earned value management and SQL as well, so that you know the point is that if you would like to put it in histogram inside here, and you can just apply for the any kind of reports, kind of the, let's call here, I would like to hit the project cost, and I want to see the monthly cost, so that you can see here my project monthly cost in the COVID time, 50, 500, 1 million, and 900. So that these are the cost, okay, which is in the COVID affected during this COVID time. That this total cost is here represented. And if you go to here options for the S-curve, you can select here and say that, okay, I would like to have option for the cumulative cost in the total cost. The total cost will be providing you for S-curve report, so that you can put the planned total cost, actual total cost, at the moment linear distribution, because if we go to here for the cost, sorry, here, and you can see that cost is distributed linear, but if you just select option and go to here for distributions, non-linear allocations, and you can select, okay, I would like to have, for example, here for call, okay, front and back load, so that you can see that the report S-curve is going to change in this or direction, or you can manually apply for each period the cost distributions. The cost is very powerful in Asta Powerproject, and you can just, we can do another session and I can speak about the cost later on. But we have also possibilities for the earned value management, so that if you go to here in Powerproject options, and there's an earned value calculations, You can have cost variance or all the schedule performance index, cost performance index calculation. And we provide, of course, earn value S-curve. We additionally provide duration % complete out of box, so that without any resource assignment to task, you can, based on the duration % complete, you can get the project S-curve. Okay. How to make it, the question is, okay, that you show the COVID impact and how to make the COVID, let's say, avoid from the COVID delay recovery plan. Generally, my suggestion, when you create the baseline for the COVID, and after COVID, you need to create another baseline and make the activity, for example, okay, let's go in the baseline. And I created here the baseline program. And I am just adding the new whole recovery plan. Best way for recovery plan is just using the resource assignments. But if you have no control on the resources, because sometimes you are general contractor or project owner, you have no access to subcontractor resources. In this case, and let's hide the cost here. And in this case, let's go here for example, the plan here. You can just select the sum of the tasks and you can change the activity linking start to start. And here, let's go 50 days. Generally, I don't suggest too much about the leg types for using the start to start or leg types, but you can, let's call here the another baseline. Okay, all right. What you need to do that you can just select the linking. The best method is the easiest way that you can change the link type by activity and move the sum of the activities, for example. And the starting for the parallel way of the working, so that, of course, you need to respect the logic. You cannot build the second floor before the first floor, but you can aggressively do for scheduling options for during the, for example, 50% first floor finish, you can start the preparation of the second floor. This is a subject about that, how you are approaching for remaining time, but you can change the link. Unfortunately, that kind of pandemic situations happen not very often. That's why, in my opinion, you have to change the link. You have to change for remaining schedules to be able to catch up the program. I'm just reading the questions, but a lot of questions, by the way. There's one question, if it's possible to access the Powerproject through web and mobile application. Powerproject has a web interface, which you can update your schedule, and there is a mobile application you can also using the site progress to update the progress. Okay, there is a question about the line of balance. Yes, we have also line of balance in Powerprojects. Maybe I deleted this. I will just open, for example, the new, let's call the file, because I deleted those tasks. Let me just create another project with the line of balance. And you can just create the line of balance activities. But I think that I don't want to go too much detail because my friends are saying that we have time now. We can organize another session for resource and the line of balance, and to be able to show you more details, because the subject is going to be very much other directions, so that I can make it in another session for the presentation of the line of balance in the another sessions. Is there any question? Final question, because my friends are saying that this is the time now.
Is it possible to download the trial version of our project?
I think if you speak with our partner in your territory, they will help you to the trial versions. I think that you need to apply for our local partners in your country, and they will help you. We provide some trial version some period of time.
Can you please share the link? Yeah. Contact your partners.
Is line of balance similar to linear reports?
Line of balance is very, line of balance means that location, people call different in many countries, time, location, time, distance, time change, line of balance. Line of balance is the same like time distance diagram, but line of balance is more used in building projects because
yes, and repetitive works. You can check the Google on this topic, it's full of that.
yeah.
Bro, in the beginning you just mentioned that this is not a software, it's a process or something. How you connect this Asta Power project with the BIM? So the point is all about this, how both are working together, these softwares.
Okay, 4D is a part of the BIM process, because to be able to have BIM, first you need to develop 3D model. You need to have a software, you need to have a 3D model, and after that, you can bring this 3D model inside of our program in a schedule, and then start to create time plan. When you connect the time with the 3D, and you will become a 4D, and 4D is a second part with the BIM processes, which is that from 3D model, integrating the time, and you become a 4D. And later on, if you integrated cost and quantity takeoff, you become a 5D, because 5D is time plus cost plus 3D, you become a 5D able to BIM processes. Of course, it's going about 60, 70, 80. The BIM is a big process. To be able to cover all the processes of the BIM, you need 16 separated software. So that
yes,
this is,
bro. So in coming in the simple term, this BIM file is, let's suppose it's an AutoCAD file, because 3D can be prepared in Revit, in AutoCAD, depend upon the skill of the guy who is preparing this 3D. So you mean that file, that's the Revit file, will be supported by this Asta Power project? That you mean?
yeah. We are not a design software. Okay, we needed 3D coming from other software, because we are project management software, so that we don't make design. This 3D, as you see on the right side, is coming from the IFC format. We are open platform, and we can just bring any 3D model coming from the Revit, Tekla, doesn't matter. We just open IFC. IFC is an international format, which 99% of all the design softwares are giving possibilities to open, so that we need a IFC file. But by the way, if you don't have 3D, you can also use the scheduling options by creating the task, that kind of things inside of our project. Of course, we have also here line of balance, resource using histogram. You can create it also inside of the system. Maybe I can try to find a ready one, which I have. Let me just cancel this one. And by the way, I can have another question while I'm trying to open here. Maybe I open. Okay, maybe I will open again for this photo project, and I will show the line of balance. But during this time, you have another question?
So the file will be exported in IFC format from the Revit or AutoCAD, and then it will be integrated with this Asta Pro. That's you mean?
Yes, I mean, you need to have AutoCAD file. By the way, this is a line of balance, all right? And you can see that these are the disciplines of the work for the floors and steps and the columns, and down we have a line of balance. So that these are also integrated with the possibilities of it, so that if you move the task in the area, you can see that the down we have also changing the line of balance options.
So this
Any-
IFC option is not available with the Primavera. It's only with the Asta Powerproject.
Yes, Primavera has no 4D capabilities,
Yeah.
but we can use the Primavera so that if you want to have any Primavera file, you can also Primavera format.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, you
Inside
can import the file from Primavera to Asta Pro and then connect that file with the Revit 3D model.
Yes.
So that's
Yes,
okay.
exactly. So that
Yeah,
here,
the file format is .ifc.
yes, IFC coming from
Oh,
Revit or any other design software.
yeah.
This is coming from Primavera, Microsoft, or you can do it inside of Powerproject.
Yeah, that's the point. That's a great point. Thank you, bro, very much.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, once we create this scheduling from the 3D model, we link with the schedule. And how helpful it will be there to present? It is only for presentation to the client, or how what format client can view if he don't have the Power Project?
Okay, first of all, your client may use the Primavera, Microsoft project, and etc. We have free Powerproject viewer license. You send your customer reader license, and they can open the Powerproject and see the schedule. If not, you can save in Primavera format, because that when you want to save this, like, okay, I created the schedule and I am just saving as on my desktop, and here you can just go to, for example, to save the baseline, and you can say hotel, all right? And in this hotel, you select the Primavera format.
Okay.
Save it, and you are selecting for predecessor. And when you save it this, and when you go to your in the desktop, which I say where, so I just need to find the okay, I just pointed too many files, but you save Primavera format, and you send format, and they will have a Primavera format. But another option with the possibilities of recording the video, you can record the video as a BIM simulation and share with the like video, yeah, in a multiple formats, and they can watch it for the schedule.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
All right, last questions, because we have a few minutes left.
Yeah, bro, but it will be very better. This was a very useful information because it's it's a upgraded version of the latest technology. If we have any session or something, how this BIM and this 3D model is connected with the Asta Pro. So any starting from the scratch, how the model is connected with the BIM. Okay, we are working as a planning engineer from many years. We know all these works. This how its links, the cost, the resources, all these are just any classical things all of the people knows. But how the 3D is connected with this PowerPoint, which is a very new thing.
Okay, there are two methods. One is just you created schedule first. I have here schedule, but I don't have a 3D. You can see that. Now I go to here, BIM area, and I am loading, for example, to BIM file. So I just select the BIM format file and load. When I come here, I see that this is what I loaded here. This is not that one. Sorry, now I am loading the 3D file. You bring the 3D file by uploading inside of the inbuilt our 3D viewer. Okay, and it's taking 1 minute because it's a 150 megabyte file, one-time loading, just from the beginning. And then you map your activity with the model. Which activity means which object in the 3D model. You just need to map it for these two options. And there are two ways, drag and drop, or with the global change, we can say that, okay, activity ID with starting with this is belong to this object, concrete. And that kind of selection will help you to map the task with the selected object. Now I have here, all right?
Yeah.
And now when I bring it there, so that one of the go to selection mode, I think this task, you just move inside and say that this is the footing activities here. So that you just drag and drop, or let me delete those all tasks. Another option, another way, okay? That you have model here, but no task. So that in this case, you select the object and
Okay.
drag and drop to here.
Okay.
And just select and move the drag and drop to here. And you can see that this task is coming. Or you open the IFC here, list of the IFC product object, you select, and from here you can say create the task.
Okay.
It will load all the tasks.
And then
Then when you create this
and
task,
then it have to be linked.
yes, you just foundation is a work breakdown structure, parking is a work breakdown structure, and the parking work breakdown structure by going and making here as a summary task. So that footing activities, you just go here and you are saying, okay, this is here, and you link those tasks. This task you select and you are saying belong to here and link the task. Here we select belong to here and link the task. And then when you schedule F9 and you can simulate it now, it's very fast. I mean, you can do it in a couple of hours, very fast schedule by selecting the auto task creation from the selected items, and you can have a simulation. It's not, I mean, taking too much time to learn to create for the schedule. Okay.
So the question is, can we go in a very detail, or we have to just give, like, for example, foundation, superstructure, facade work, internal block work? Can we go in a very detail like we are doing in normal in Primavera in this case, or it is only on a higher level?
No, you can go any level. For example, footing, and here you can just have here, you can go to detail here more. You can just see that I'm creating here the footing area 1 and rebarring, formwork, and etc. And then when I open it, you can see footing activities. I can here for multiple line. It's a very powerful. I mean, you can see global level.
Bro, I know. Bro, I know this feature in the Asta Pro. I mean, this all activity will be mapped with the model, with the 3D model.
Depends on
These
the
additional.
Yeah, I mean, this is all mapped in the 3D model object. Depends on how your 3D model is built. Because in 3D model, we have LOD, level of details. In 3D model, like in schedule, we have level 1 schedule, level 2 schedule, level 3 schedule, level 4 schedule. In design software, they are calling LOD 100, level of detail 100, LOD 200, LOD 300, and LOD 400. We have no limits. You can do as detailed as possible, okay, in the system. But you can also split the model. You can just go, for example, the object, and you can also, for example, I zoom here, and this is the wall, and this is one, yes, and you just right click and split the product into 5 pieces. I just write it here 5, and this time object is divided into 5 pieces.
Okay.
So that if you want as a one piece, or you can have the 5 piece. An activity also
Okay.
can be here as a one, yes. And you can say split my task in the half, split my task in the half, so that you can split the model, you can split task. It gives you opportunity. You start global level of the schedule, but detail as much as you want in the feature.
Okay. That's
All right.
very powerful.
Takin, I have one question.
Yes.
What if in the middle of the project, as you have already mapped the 3D plans to the schedule, there were change of the drawings? Does it mean that I need to make another upload for a plan, or just to
Yeah.
supersede the by parts only?
Yeah. Good question. Okay. We have mapping with the unique ID and unique object, so that when you next time bring any 3D file again, you don't have to map the activities to object again. It will remember which one has already linked. But new changes, any added new object will be filtered like unlinked activities, so that you can go to here, you can show planned task, show completed task, hide the completed task. You can have it possibilities here for listed unlinked object, so that you just need to link only new object which was coming from the design software. You don't have to rework again.
Okay, but those items that I know that is no longer part or means deleted scope of works, so just delete it. Then it will automatically
If there is the task is deleted, this
delete in the model. Is
later.
that what you mean?
Yeah, I mean, for example, I have 3D model and they make some changes on this object. Okay, when I bring it next time, I can filter it to object which is edit. Okay, so I can go to task and edit it on this new edit object.
Mm-hmm.
Also listed here as a not planned, because when I select the only show the plan, please see nothing is shown because I have not planned anything on this. But if I have possibilities of the all items, it will show the all items, so that I can filter it. New edit object in 3D, please show it as a separated. It will filter the new object, and then you create a new task, and this new task you just link to selected new object as a new object.
Okay. Yes.
So friend, is
Okay.
there any way
Okay.
to automate this linking process?
One more thing.
Yes.
So again, one last
Uh,
question. Is there any way to link this activity and element mapping through automated manner? For example, through some codes or some other options? Because currently you are mapping one by one, right? For activities, you are mapping with one objects. Is there any way to automate this process?
Yeah, of
And my
course.
second question, let me finish my second question. So is there any way to fetch the Primavera project through some web service or any other automated method instead of importing manually?
Well,
The
we are not
XCR files.
importing. We are not importing XCR file. We are not importing.
Okay.
We are opening. Okay.
You are
So
just
that
opening the XCR file, right?
yeah, we open XCR file. We don't import. So that this
So
is
my question is, my question is there any way to automatically link this Primavera database directly
no.
instead of fetching one by
No,
one
it's
project?
not, because Primavera has own import export. Even if you have a Primavera file in somebody sending you, it is even importing its own file because Primavera has a database. It is possible, but no sense. Generally, people are just because you can open it and it will remember it, but there is no direct integration to Primavera database because this is a separate.
Fine.
Or another question was, if we have manually, okay, you don't need to do it manually because we have search criteria, listed group of activities, automatically link it, because we have, when you go to comparison model, you can see that I would like to see only electrical work, only mechanical work, first floor, and that kind of things inside of the system. From here, you can open for locations and you can link it. Okay, so I have here just the first floor, fifth floor, and the eighth floor. You can just do auto linking by selecting this group of the work. Okay, just go to this group of activities so that you can filter and group to some activities and link the objects. During the training, we are just showing. This is just, you know, we have already 10 minutes over the time. I'm trying to answer it, but time for me to thank you for all of you. And if you have any question, you can speak with our local partners in your territory. They will be providing you all the detailed information. Okay, thank you very much. And have a nice day.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. Wish you so.
Thank you.